and I'm looking up those, you know,
What a good use of time, can you
ideas.
imagine?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was actually doing some research on what Brahmacharya really means myself. So I haven't read it yet, but I started to do the research, so I thought today's lesson was perfect because it's a little bit confusing sometimes.
Yes, I'm probably going to have to go very soon because I'm going to get picked
Please,
up. Unfortunately, I won't be able to follow, but at least I get to have a little moment to connect with you all.
this is
Great.
perfect. You were there. Please don't be under any pressure. In fact, just log out and relax. We are together. You will get to see the YouTube recording, and of course, Hasiba will probably create a English document for you, so you
Yeah,
will have
I'll
something
send
for
it
your
to
mind.
Emma so she can have access to it.
Yes, I would love that. Thank you
And
so
then,
much. That would be
uh,
really
and then Emma, you
helpful.
can ask your questions later, or just call me. No problem.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Bye
Have a
for
good day,
now.
Emma.
And Hasiba, this is Akshay. He's
Hi,
also
actually,
from
Hadisa,
Toronto.
actually.
Uh, he's also from, I think, Toronto. So you're in the same
Oh,
city.
nice. Okay. Hi, actually.
And you can always have coffee together. Um, he is running a store also, and he's trying to expand that. But that's perfect. You're both in the
Nice.
same city.
Nice.
So in a few seconds, let us prepare ourselves to um, tune in, gently close our eyes, bring our awareness to our breath, and relax. Let go and let God. Okay, great. Um, Namaste to all of us. And we are three of us here, so it makes us a very neat, we call it the Upanishadic group. The Upanishads were all dialogues between two, three people sitting close together. Upanishad actually means upa means near, and nishad, upa nishad. Nishad means to sit. Upa means to
Mhm.
be near. Sit near, sitting near, and all. Imagine the sacred texts of the East, of the Vedic sacred texts, are known as Upanishads, the texts that came by sitting close, sitting near. But here we are very far away and yet very near, very close. So I'm very happy. And also, you have heard what we were talking about today about Brahmacharya. And again and again, we have to reiterate that the mass of people have chosen to walk out, and they are perfectly in their rights to do that. No judgment on people who are walking out, enjoying themselves, having ice creams, having doing the best with the world they can, vacationing, and in that also crying, feeling sad sometimes, feeling angry, sometimes killing, sometimes doing something else, blowing up a city or whatever they do. Everything that they are doing within their own intelligence is their urge, their journey, their way, their path. And they will bear the consequences of that. Either they are consciously doing it or unconsciously doing it. Whatever they're doing, whatever they're speaking, however they're thinking, there are consequences to that. And they're willing to enjoy the consequences, whether good or bad. They want to be in that journey, which is perfect. Again and again, we have to tell ourselves we are not superior in any ways for choosing a journey inward. This, this is almost, I will say, one of my most beautiful personal learnings, my learning, not to feel superior, that we are, pure, great people doing a great job by doing an inner journey. And look at all these commoners who don't know, don't have a clue. They have an answer to a question, who am I? They don't know who is God. They don't know nothing. They are ignorant. Such words are used in the text, but they're not used in the sense of judgment. But when we read, we use it in the sense of judgment. We are enlightened beings, superior beings, and we have to show the light to them. Nothing. So we have to relax on that. And we have to realize that we are on an inner journey to cleanse the mirror of our mind. We'll do that to the best that we can and the best way that we are supported by God in whichever form. We believe in that. And for the rest of the world, we can only humbly serve. We can only serve them. Yes, in that, if some people get interested in their own inner journeys, we can serve them with whatever little we know. But if not, we still serve them. We do what brings comfort to many, joy to many. Bahujan Hitay, Bahujan Sukhai. In Islam, Muhammad says, choose for your brother what you choose for yourself. Jesus, do unto others what you want others to do unto you. How beautiful that is. And that is what is our message also. With that, on this journey, we have taken the framework. We have given ourselves a compass, and a compass that looks like a sacred geometry with a square, circle, triangles, and a circle of 24 petals of 24 petal lotus, a circle like that, a lotus circle. And currently we are exploring that lotus circle. That lotus circle represents our mind. And we are going petal by petal by petal. We have done ahimsa, which is non-violence, non-hurt, unhurt, truth, satya, truth, asteya, non-stealing. We have already done tapa, swadhyaya, ishwar pranidhan. So we have done tapas, that is concentrated efforts that generate heat, efforts in our zone of discomfort. But please remember, we have again and again emphasized, tapas simply means to keep your discriminative intelligence at the point which sees the difference between seer and the seen. I am the witness and the whole world is the witnessed. This particular thought should not escape for long durations of time. Actually, ultimately, it should become our unbroken nature to be in that consciousness. And it's a lot of mental effort to be there, because just now, science has proven that the construct of I, and I am doing it, and I am owning it, and this is me, this is mine. This construct of I and the ownership of things that we do is actually a brain's construct to make survival easy. Otherwise, it will become a mess. I might be, if I'm living in a group, I might be given a job to take care of the children and teach them how to hunt, while there will be other people who will actually go and hunt and get home some food. So I must know what my job is, and I must recognize my children, and they must do their job as a hunter. I must do my job as a teacher. So brain needs to convert it into a construct. And the scientist in that study, I will share that. I've already shared that video in our chat group. I'll repost it with my comments again. Scientists have established that this I, the sense of I, is as much a mental construct as the blue sky or the green leaves. Can you imagine? Thinking that this is a blue sky, how real it is, and this is a green tree or a red apple, red, green. It's a construct of the brain, exactly in the same way as the I principle is the construct of the brain. So tapa is to understand and be clear that there's a functional I through which I have to work, and there is an absolute I which is non-different from Hasiba or Akshay or Pavan. All these I's are a singular I being expressed in these forms. So that is tapa. And then swadhyay, self-study, study of the self, which also includes repetition of the mantra Om. Or in your case, Hasiba, if you're doing Om, or even if you're taking the name of one of the beautiful names of Allah, will be counted as self-study. And then we have Swadhyay. Swadhyay is that. And then we have Ishwar Pranidham, which is surrender to the presence of God, or bringing ourselves into the presence of God. So these are the three petals there, and the three petals from the beginning makes we have done 6 out of 24 petals already. Coming back again, the petals are arranged in a sequence of the 8-limbed path of yoga, Ashtanga Raj Yoga. So the first 5 petals comprise the yama, the inner restraints. And these 5 petals are the 5 great oaths, Mahavrata, the 5 great oaths. No one is to be an exception to that, under no circumstances, at no point in time. So you are sick, you are unwell, you are this or that. There's no exception to these 5 Mahavratas that we need to be established in. These are our 5 vows, great vows. Which are those great vows? We have seen ahimsa, non-hurt, satya, truth, asteya, non-stealing, and today we are going to see the 4th, Brahmacharya. Now, the very simple meaning of Brahmacharya, simple as it sounds to the ears, is Brahmacharya is made up of 2 words. Brahmacharya is made up of 2 words, Brahman and Charya. Brahma and Charya. Brahma means Brahman, the conscious, the highest consciousness, or the highest existence, not God, beyond that, even beyond that, more primal to that. God is still a construct out of that higher consciousness. This is pure consciousness, existence, and which is blissful. Bliss in the sense it is complete in itself. It is not wanting anything. It cannot be completed by putting in something, or it cannot become less by taking out anything out of it. It is always complete, always whole. This supreme consciousness is called Brahman. Existence, consciousness, bliss. Sat, Chit, Anand, Brahman. And Charya simply means to move about. or to give movement to life. Life as it goes about, going about life is known as charya. Charya. So brahmacharya means going about one's life established in the Brahman, as the Brahman, for the Brahman, Ishwar Pranidhana. So totally in the Brahman mind or the Brahman sense, to go about life established in the sense of a seer, always in all conditions. That is called brahmacharya. This is the high and top end definition or understanding of this as it simply comes across. However, in the context of yoga practice, when it is introduced as a part of yoga practice, the commentators, especially the great commentator Vyasa, he defines brahmacharya as control of secret organ, guptendriya sanyama, secret organ or concealed organ, not even concealed. Gupta means secret, secret, unseen, unseen, unrevealed. So, secret organ. Now here, it's a direct reference to the genitals because that is what is covered, you can say. You cannot see it directly. And it is said that control of that organ. But remember one thing. Now we begin to go from here to understand it very deep because here Akshay and yourself, Hasiba, both of you are young people. What do you mean by control of the secret organ? So control of the secret organ. So what happens, which is where I was referring to my Gurudev, Swami Veda, in 2004, around exactly this time, June and July, that was the time of Guru Purnima, 2004, in New York, in a Jewish synagogue. When he was reading his poems, it came up to Brahmacharya, and Gurudev, Swami Ved, he stated, Brahmacharya is not conservation of seminal fluid. Statement number one. And much later, statement number two, when you indulge in the act for the sake of pleasing your partner, it will still be considered a part of brahmacharya. He made these two statements. Normally, one indulges in this to get pleasure and rates himself or herself, am I satisfied, am I dissatisfied? But here, the concern is, if my partner is fully satisfied and enjoyed this moment, it will still be considered to be brahmacharya. Of course, these statements will put aside. Let's go deeper into the secret organ. So the secret organ, we all now know, we know from science, and earlier times also they knew it, that there is no intelligence in the secret organ. There's nothing in the secret organ. It's just a piece of extended skin or whatever. It's a part of the body. It has as much intelligence as any other part of the body. It is not a different entity that you need to control. So the secret organ, where is the command center of the secret organ? The mind, the senses, the five senses, and the mind that interprets sensual sensory inputs and gives a command that I need to now indulge in a certain enjoyable activity. So refers back that the control has to be, not control, to have a harmonious hang of a harmonious relationship with the mind on this topic, that our bounds of propriety are not breached by the force of desire of the mind. So Brahmacharya is a very, very important vow. Here, the third thing Swami Ved said, especially for all the young people, Hitesh ji is there, Akshay, yourself, Hasiba, especially for all the young people, being, you know, being true to your love partner, not not cheating in that way, is also part of being in a respectful, loving, monogamous one-on-one relationship. Deep, meaningful, purposeful relationship is included within the scope and definition of the word brahmacharya. So, brahmacharya should not be equated to celibacy and you turn celibate. No, there is there's just a story that there was, in olden times, a Bible used to be copied. There were no printing press. So one had to take a Bible, look at, and from the copy, keep copying. And all the novices, the ones, the young novice priests, monks, used to be given this task. Young men, sit down, keep copying a Bible, one copy, two copy, three copies, whatever. So one time there was a novice and he questioned the father. He said, Father, we are copying from the copies. How do we know if there is any error coming in? And this struck the father, the old monk. He said, stop copying. Let me go and read the original and come back if that original is correct or not. And he then went into the cellar where the original copy was kept, out of which copies were being made, out of which these novices were copying, making copies. So went to the original Bible, turned it around, and started studying it. Many hours passed, and it is said that nightfall came. He did not come out of the cellar. So this novice, because of whom the father was in the cellar, he went down to see what is he doing. Is he okay? And he saw that the father was hitting his head on the desk. And he said, oh my God, it is not, they missed the R. You know this? They missed the R, the letter R. They missed it. And they got it celibate, where it was supposed to be celebrate. Somebody dropped the R and it became celibate. Oh my God, we have wasted our lives. I have wasted my life, and so many also, because they missed the R. Exactly, in translating Brahmacharya, most people, even in the Hindu monk orders, they're missing the R and they become very repressive. They think abstinence from a sexual act is enough to qualify them to be called brahmacharis. But that is not so. It is part of it. Yes, there is a part in which if you can take it up as a vow and say, I will abstain from sexual act as a part of my overall brahmacharya vow, no problem, go ahead. That is part of your tapas. Sometimes we do that for a certain period of time, like fasting. But to take celibacy as a synonym of brahmacharya has been one of, I will think, one of the misses in translations. Of course, coming back again to the Yoga Sutra, I have to admit that there the definition and the way it is driven is towards celibacy, but it is in a much broader context. The context that is set there is that, look, there's a lot of subtle energy that is expended in the act of indulgence. So be careful, be mindful. And the word is, mind the word, it is not abstinence. It is sanyama. Sanyam means control. That means controlled indulgence in this act. This act is such, if you do it uncontrolled, everywhere, with everybody, it can just go out of hand. So there has to be an institution of control in there. And therefore, with Vyas comes in the commentary of, I proudly say this, my ancestor, our ancestor, Vachaspati Mishra, in the 10th century AD, about 1,000 years from today, he wrote a commentary on the Yoga Sutras. And in that commentary, he specifically pointed out that Brahmacharya has to be practiced at the level of the mind, speech, and actions. Man, Kram, Vachan. In the Chalisa, there is a verse says, Man, Kram, Vachan, Dhyan Jo Lave. That there is the indication of bringing, harmonizing, cleansing, purifying, making it more subtle, the mind, the speech, and one's deeds. At these levels, Brahmacharya needs to be practiced. And there is a Puran called Kurma Puran, the Purana of the tortoise, Kurma Puran. So in that, at one point, Brahmacharya is defined as maintaining a non-adhesive mind towards the objects of enjoyment. Very beautiful. To be unadhesive, to be do you understand? It is not even unattached. Attachment will come later. First of all, the quality of mind should not be an adhesive quality, that it goes and gets stuck. It could be food, it could be something that you see, and it could also be a man or a woman that you want to enjoy. Unadhesiveness, like that of a lotus leaf, which is unadhesive to water. It is said that. So the practice of unadhesiveness, the practice of a certain discipline, a certain control, a certain mastery over our senses. And in the Chalisa, we say, Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai. Hanuman Gosai. Gosai means, go means senses. Sai means the master. O Hanuman, that you are the master of my senses, please, Kripa karo Gurudev ki nai. Please bestow your blessings, bestow your grace like a guru does. Like a guru, become my guru. Like a guru, bestow your grace on me while you are already the master of my senses. In which sense Hanuman is the master of senses? Hanuman is known as Prana, the life force. And life force, it is the life force on which the mind depends on the life force. If there's no life force, the mind will stop to connect with the body and function. Mind will get out with the conscious one, the Jivatman, the conscious soul, and the mind will get out of this. The subtle body will get out. So for the mind and the senses to express themselves through this human body, prana is needed. And in that, therefore, prana is the master of the mind and senses, is the base, is the substratum. And therefore, Hanuman has been called Gosai. Kripa karo Gurudev ki nai. Hanuman is said to be a Brahmacharyan. It is in some stories, it is mentioned that he also got married to Suvarchala, the daughter of Sun, who was his guru, to gain certain aspects of knowledge which can be given only to a householder. For that purpose, he got married. Some die-hard scholars or die-hard devotees, they cannot accept him to be doing anything with the woman. So they say, he just got married. It doesn't mean that he actually, went any further. Well, if that pleases you. If you think it is such a downgrade act and he abstained from that, why not? In some stories, he's not even married, so that's okay. In some stories, he's married. In some stories, he has a son out of a fish nymph, also out of a marine, or nymphs are in the marine, in water. So out of that, Makardhwaj, his son. But then to defend his pure celibacy, they use some story or some bypass to that. In my book, I have dared to say this, that if you think that breakage of celibacy or dropping of celibacy is insertion of a piece of your body's flesh into another body, then look at Hanuman. He entered the mouth of Sursa and came out. His whole body went in and came out of her mouth. Technically, how will be maintained? But I do not know if somebody, nobody hears my videos so much. Somebody were to listen to this, they might raise an objection that I'm saying this, but that's the fact. And it is the least part of Brahmacharya. The smallest, the tiniest, the most insignificant part is sexual behavior. Because sexual behavior is based on your mental attitudes, the way you look at a woman or a man, the way you look at life itself, the way you, how deeply established you are in the sense of Advaita, the unitary consciousness, how careful you are in doing whatever you have, and then apply the three big statements of my guru. I speak that with great responsibility, and I draw that from his authority, and I was witness to it. I have heard it say, so I don't need anybody else to tell me what he thought about it. And he was my guru, so I can certainly say that and relax ourselves on the stringency of sexual behavior. Yes, it has to be proper, it has to be honorable, respectful, with deep love and care, and all the aspects of non-violence, non-hurt, untruth, truthfulness, non-truth, these aspects to be kept there in our behavior. Stealing, not stealing. Are we stealing somebody's trust in us? Or are we tampering with somebody's trust? Then it will be stealing us there. So we have to purify. We have to keep our any and every act purified from all these five aspects that we have taken a vow to adhere to. Because without that, our journeys will become very difficult, will become impossible, at least on the yoga path. There could be some other paths in which journeys take place, and I won't not debate that the path of yoga that we are sharing here is the most beautiful, a direct, shortcut, simple, process-driven, neutral path that we can follow and yet arrive at our fullest blossoming. Then there are 8 different ways in which this brahmacharya can get breached. Brahmacharya can be breached in 8 ways. It is given in Daksha Samhita. 1, memory, remembering certain acts or indulgences. Number 2, singing about it, talking too much about it, and again repeatedly conversing about it. Then playing around it. Playing around. It's a very loose word. Play. The word used there is keli. Keli means to put it into play, to fantasize, to romance, etc. But not only that, more than that. Then prekshan means to cast desire-filled eyes upon the object of your desire. It could be a woman, it could be a man. I will go further. It could be a garment, it could be a watch. To look at something longingly with a lot of desire. But here in particular, it is towards a man or a woman looking longingly giving a big gaze. That's why it is considered to be breach of privacy. If you're looking at a woman for more than, I think, 1 or 2 minutes in the US, if you look at somebody for more than 2 minutes, she can sue you, or he can also sue you if you do that. Guhya bhashan means talking to opposite gender in in private, in secrecy. If you're not supposed to be talking to her in secrecy and you're trying to do that. Sankalpa, making a intention that I will do this or that. Adhyavasai means putting efforts towards that direction. And Kriya Nivriti means actually doing the deed of indulging in that particular pleasure. In all 8 ways, Brahmacharya gets breached. But in all the 8 ways, just change the words a little bit. In all the 8 ways, ahimsa can get breached. Non-violence can get breached in all the 8 ways. You can think about killing somebody but not actually kill him, and yet a violence has been created. So ahimsa, also satya, truth, and also stealing, as well as we'll see aparigraha, non-hoarding, all will get breached in any one of these 8 ways. So it is just to remember that these 8 ways have to be consciously, we have to be awake and conscious about these 8 aspects through which this vow can be breached. And some of the practice points are to eat in a measured way, eating a lot, eating all kinds of food without knowing their temperament, the food's temperament and effects, tend to push our desires very hard. And then this is such a basic desire that it is not easy to control it. See, desires like eating food, that itself is so difficult to control. If you feel like having an ice cream, you sure will find a way to get an ice cream and fulfill your taste buds. Or you want to see a movie, you will skip work and see what's that movie. Even these simple senses are so strong that they pull us towards their objects of desire, much more our secret sense that takes us towards. It's a very strong sense because it is connected to our primal urge to procreate. It is connected to that. So it is very difficult to keep it in control, on track, within a certain respectable boundaries. Very difficult, especially in the modern times where young people do not follow any restraint. Of course, to build muscles, they follow some restraint to eat, but they don't follow any fasting or any kind of other practices, any kind of restraint. And because they don't follow any restraint, even in this particular aspect, they are not able to control their urges. And that's the reason why they land up into slipping out of relationships, things like that, and all kinds of complications arise. So food has to be looked at, sleep has to be looked at. A lot of wasteful sleep also adds to that desire. Asanga, non-adhesiveness, has to be practiced. We have to keep away from very negatively impacting energy. I'm using negative in a very loose way. I do not want to use it as a judgment. So suppose you're going to a pub and you feel drained out, then don't go there. Don't drain your energy out. Brahmacharya is conservation of your energy, of your mental, psychic, energetic energies. If you go to a place and you feel totally exhausted, drained out, avoid it. Going to a mall, I feel like that. Sometimes in a movie hall, I feel totally drained out with loud noise. I don't know what will they show on the screen. Sometimes when you watch television, the news itself sometimes is so draining. So avoid presenting yourself in front of that. But once again, and this is my personal practice these days, I want to reiterate that those who choose to watch a movie, enjoy a movie, they want to see television, they want to go to a mall, go to a pub, dance on a weekend, they're free to do that. It's their choice, it's their path. Just as a person who's preparing for football or who is preparing weightlifting or Mr. Body or Miss World will be so watchful about the food that they're eating, putting in the mouth. Every salad leaf is measured. But those who are not like you and me, we can go and grab a burger and eat it and enjoy it. No problem. But for them, it's a big problem because they have chosen that path. Similarly, we have chosen this journey upstream, going up. So we need to be so careful about how we are conserving ourselves in this, and to find time to be alone by ourselves. This is very important. In the Hindi class, in the Hindi satsang, we had a lot of questions coming on Brahmacharya, and my answer was this: that if we sit quietly, these qualities are not ink and paper qualities, just written words. These are conscious qualities. Truth is a conscious quality. Non-hurt, love is a conscious quality. Similarly, brahmacharya is a conscious quality. When we allow to sit down and allow this word to come up, and we say, what do I understand out of that? That quality will reveal itself to us individually. It might mean different to you, different to you, different to you. But bottom line is, whatever keeps us established firmly in our sense of being a seer, being the Brahman, and all of this being the seen, whatever allows us to stay in that peace, in that anchorage, is brahmacharya. Whatever takes us out of this is a breach of brahmacharya. You can say that. And we have taken a vow to be established in the Brahman, in that conscious principle, to be always awake. So with that, I will pause and take your questions. And I hope, Hasiba, it must be more clear to you now than it was in
It
Hindi.
is. Yeah.
Archana ji, she came for the Hindi class and now for the English, and she gets a good translation, good idea when she does both.
Yeah, because this time I was finding it difficult to join Zoom.
Acha,
So I went on to YouTube and I did the Hindi one.
acha.
Then I tried English again, तो English में भी नहीं हुआ. फिर I came home and then I logged in through my system. And yes, practices are continuing, and I think the one that I want to do is silence.
Yes.
And I haven't found the time. That's how do I take that out, and that's that's
If you
something
firmly
that's
decide, if you just
yeah.
take a sankalpa, even for half day, on a Sunday or a Saturday, whenever you think is easy, first half or second half, best first half, because then your silence continues from the previous night. So
Yeah.
previous night, silence has to be conscious. Only if it is conscious that even the night will be counted as silent. So say a couple of hours before sleeping. So after dinner, you say, now I'm going into silence. Sit in front of your altar and say Om 3 times, nicely, lovingly. And then you got into silence. And then you say, tomorrow after lunch or before lunch, I'll get out of silence. So you get a
During this time, you can do what your regular work is, or no?
ideally, see, it all depends on what you want to, how you want the silence to be. If it is only muting your speech, it's a good starting point. Why not? But if you really want to tune in, then you do nothing. If you have a pet, just see a dog, what does it do? Nothing. Or a bird, just sitting there. But then bringing the awareness again and again on the breath. Do I need to all the time be doing something? Is the question you will get to ask yourself. Because in the morning is okay, you've brushed your teeth, you've taken a shower, you have had a little meditation, now you had breakfast. Now silence. So now you have 3 hours to go before you will have lunch. Now what to do in these 3 hours? You will have this going on. But you say, I'll do nothing in 3 hours, I'll just sit. So I'll sit by the
I
window,
need,
I'll
yeah,
find a good spot where I can sit for a long time. Maybe if I feel too sleepy, I'll go and sleep. Then you'll say, this is too much. Let me read something. Maybe you'll pick up a book. Maybe you'll go through the old notes and you'll reflect, where am I missing? Where is my journey today? Where I am? What are the qualities I was told to imbibe? And can I put a chart of how much of truth, if I say how much truth is there in my life? 50%, 40%, 30, or 90%, or so then what is that 10% that is missing?
yeah.
So those
That's a good
reviews you
tip
can
that
do.
I can read and write.
You can read,
Because,
you can write,
yeah,
you can write your mantras,
yes.
you can write your
Because
mantras.
yesterday, uh, so I've started working again,
Ah, yes.
and my family is not very happy because health is not supporting, and they're saying, "Oh, forget it now, stop it," and this, that. And one of my cousins, she said, she can't stop. She's a restless soul. And that has taken me by surprise because I never thought I was restless. I always thought I was very, you know, but people are observing and they're making statements that she's doing what she doesn't need to do. And why?
The whole thing is you have to take this as a big compliment because this is the mode of rajas, the mode of action, which is where you are. Now, from here, you can drop into tamas, which is the mode of sloth and stagnation, or you can raise into sattva, which is the mode of stillness.
Yeah,
Both look the same. Stillness looks the same as slotted out individual, totally lazy, slothful, in the dark, depressed. And the person who is still is also going to be quiet and still and peaceful, but to the outside, both will look the same. So you are in a very good zone where you have enough understanding to allow yourself to um, precipitate into a state of more and more stillness. It's a practice,
yeah.
nothing else.
Thank you, because I just needed to know what I need to do for those 3 hours because just sitting is very difficult.
It is very difficult, but then at that time you can say, okay, fine, I will do 1,000 of my mantra,
Yeah,
or a
yeah.
500 or 1,000 of my 100 of my mantras. Then I will write maybe 11 times or something, and then I will do my. After that, I will be with myself, Archana on Archana ji. So sit down. Where are you? And that, how is my rhythm going on? What can I improve better? How can I anchor myself and stuff? And where am I? Where am I headed? What are my basic questions? What are my barriers? You will write that. And then certainly keep some time that you'll do nothing. All of this rattle will be out. You have written, scribbled, noted, everything. Maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Maybe listen to some music, some sitar or flute that keeps you engaged, and then shut that off also and say, I, the conscious one, not my Atma, I, the Atman, I, the Brahman, who is experiencing my own mind and my intellect, I decide to be still with all my organs, all my senses. 15 minutes. I command you all guys, sit down, relax. Let's have a talk. And then you do some inner work. Say, hi, all my cells, my liver, you guys are okay. Then see the liver smile. Think of a big stadium, all the 70 trillion cells in the front row. In the back row, 700 trillion fungus, bacteria, macrophages, and all of that viruses. Hey guys, I'm sorry I didn't talk to you for a long time. You guys are okay? And hear them say, oh, we are okay. Then say, I heard someone has the immune system, that team, are you guys okay? I heard you're talking about some RA or something like that, some inflammation going on there. Yeah, it is there, but don't worry, we'll take care of it. Hear that feedback. I really love you, but I'm sorry, guys. I must have messed up somewhere for you guys to suffer so much. But don't worry, I'm taking care on my side, and Great. I totally trust you. You'll sort out the mess yourself. Any other problem, anybody? All going great. All those kinds of, stuff that we don't talk to ourselves.
Stop.
And you might think that I'm just saying something, but it is not so. This is and part of NLP.
Yeah.
It's part of giving your cell beings, recognizing each one of them as cell beings and seeing them and not looking at them as a crowd. We are not a number in the crowd. We are individual citizens of this nation. We want to be looked at. Similarly, every cell wants to be looked at, but there are 70 trillion of them. But then you have infinite power. So imagine 70 trillion light rays connecting with the light point of 70 trillion cells and also the 700 trillion. Those guys are doing a great job. These bacteria are defending other bacteria. The gut bacteria is talking to the brain. A lot of work is going on. Guys love you. So you'll come.
Thank you. I'll try. Yeah,
So
so
in silence.
these are good. Yeah, in silence. Yeah.
But even then, at least 5-10 minutes, you just say, okay, guys, silence, off you go, do your job, leave me alone. And then find yourself in that stadium alone, just light
Yeah.
and pause,
I'll try
deep
that.
pause.
I'll tell you how it goes.
It will go very well.
Yes.
Guruji, one small question.
Yes,
I have tried doing meditation number of times, and I've been practicing meditation for some time. But to keep on doing the practice of meditation, yes, tuning of the mind is required. But maybe some other time I'll look at some old recording of yours and learn on ways of tuning your mind towards meditation.
the simplest, Hitesh Babu, is to bring your mind to the flow of your breath. This is the starting point of meditation and the end point of it. Keeping your mind on the flow of breath and just introducing a one syllable mantra. It could be Ram, simple mantra. Ram in, Ram out. For Hasiba, Allah, or whatever name is dear to her. For Akshay, Sham, 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 Sham. But in the breath. And observe that your breath and the sound and the mind, all three are flowing in a single flow. That observe. You have to observe, you'll see that happen, that your breath and the sound, which is the mantra, and the mind, all three are flowing together without a jerk, without a break, smoothly, deeply. This is the starting point of meditation.
Guruji, I have learned Kriya Yoga also. I have learned meditation techniques of that whatever were taught and explained. So I practice that, but I'm still to improve my practice.
But Hitesh Babu, unless and until Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, and Dharna are not done well, how will Dhyan take place? Meditation is not what you do, meditation is what happens. You can bring your mind and prepare it on the meditation seat, but the meditation has to happen. Dhyan ghatit hota hai. Dhyan happens. So how will it happen? It will happen when all the rest of the conditions are conducive. So one of the practices that will help you is dharana, concentration on a flame of light. To put a flame of light on the table and gaze at it. These days you get very good Tratak lamps with a long this thing. You can use that. Till your mind is able to practice concentration on an external object, how will it move to concentrating on an internal object, which is a thought? There, the thought is a mantra. Meditation is flow of thoughts onto a single point of cognition. And concentration, dharana, is flow of thoughts on a single object of cognition. So object is easy because I can see it. I'm looking at it. I put my eyes on it, and now I'm just looking at it. Easy. After this easy thing has happened, only then when you close your eyes and move it to focus on singular thought, the thought being mantra, your mantra, whichever mantra it is. If you're initiated, then your guru mantra. If you're not initiated, then any mantra dear to your heart. That, right? So that is why we are preparing very slowly. We are preparing. We are going through yama and niyama. We'll talk about asana. We do some pranayam every day, every time that we meet. Today, Ajay ji is not there. But all this has to be built in. And then we do some pratyahar. We do some fasting. Try fasting. Suddenly you command your body, you won't get anything. Then you have to fast from Instagram, social media on a daily basis. Look at your social media counter in your, if you have an Android phone, there is a digital well-being in the settings. In the settings, if you go to digital, you know it much better than me. There you
I
can see your.
I don't indulge in any phone or computer, something that would to waste my time or anything.
Very
I'm
good.
I've learned many things by watching all your videos, so काफी कुछ follow कर पाता हूँ.
बहुत ही अच्छा है. Lovely. So similarly, you'll have to keep refining as to where your senses are going. Pratyahar. You have to bring your senses back from there, pull them away from the object of desire. That's a essential step in the ladder. So you can imagine yama and niyama are the handles of this eightfold ladder. Yama and niyama are the ladder, are the handles, and then asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. These are the steps on it. But yama and niyama are the bus bars that go through this. Are you getting an idea? Like these are the two. So therefore, we are spending so much time on yama and niyama. We're almost there. Next time we'll be talking about aparigraha, non-hoarding or non-grabbing. And that will complete our 5 yamas, and then there will be 5 niyamas. These 5 are the bus bars. They run through your practice. We will get there 100%. We are together.
Thank you, Pawan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
We'll get there.
We will get there. We will get there. So if you are all done, we can close our evening and see us again very soon.
Yes, sir.
Namaste.
Yes.